It is finally here, albeit a few days earlier than expected. The Star Wars Battlefront 2 teaser trailer has been outed on the internet, and I've got the breakdown right here, right now. So the trailer starts with a ship, which turns out to be our single-player campaign's protagonist ship, flying alongside some TIE fighters and a Star Destroyer, and it's revealed that protagonist is an Imperial officer who was sent to Endor to stop the rebels, and as we know from Episode 6, she failed. And as she sees the partially rebuilt Death Star 2.0 being blown up, we get our first look at our playable character, who follows the trend of recent Star Wars productions by being female. We then see a TIE fighter flying through the debris of what can be assumed is the remains of the Death Star. As the officer claims, it was the day the real war began, a war we will probably play through in the campaign of Battlefront 2. This story seems to be an original creation specifically for Battlefront 2, as it is said to be untold, so we can only speculate our purpose as this officer, except that we must avenge our Emperor and assumedly just kill some rebels. We then see the officer travelling through hyperspace, right into a massive space battle, the likes of which I hope to see in the multiplayer as well as in the campaign, as X-Wings launch attacks on a Star Destroyer before we get our first look at Starkiller Base, and swarms of First Order TIE fighters being released to join the battle. And then the first look at multiplayer in the Galactic era, on planets but not necessarily maps that were seen in the first Battlefront, such as Sullust, where we see two walkers advancing, which suggests Walker Assault, the best mode from the first Battlefront, will be returning, as will Hoth, which I believe was the best map and planet from Battlefront as well. However, if you look closely at the Snowtrooper, you see he is wearing what looks like a jump pack, which would suggest that Star Cards will return, which is a crying shame in my opinion. But we also get something epic from this shot too, as a Tauntaun charges into the trooper head first, similar to horses in Battlefield 1, which would maybe suggest classes more than Star Cards, which I really hope is the case. We also see the Millennium Falcon being chased by two TIE fighters on Takodana, the planet from Force Awakens, home to Maz Kanata and Luke's lightsaber. And finally, we get proof that all the eras, including Clone Wars, will appear in the multiplayer, and we get our first look at the badass as hell Darth Maul in his Phantom Menace robes on Naboo, in the area where he slaughtered Qui-Gon before seemingly falling to his demise at the hands of Kenobi. But as if this could get any cooler, we see two tiny green hands holding a tiny green lightsaber in Jedi robes. That's right, we'll be able to play as Yoda and Maul in Battlefront 2. But that's still not all. There's one era to see heroes from, and they are amazing. We see Rey charging through Takodana's dense jungle areas, and Kylo Ren's immaculately recreated in-game helmet turning ominously in what looks like the forest on Starkiller Base, where the finale of Force Awakens took place. We also get a look at what appears to be the game's official cover and box art, with our Imperial officer in the front and centre, representing the Galactic era, Rey on the left, lightsaber and all, representing the Force Awakens era, which is making their Battlefront debut, and Darth Maul on the right, representing the Clone Wars era, making their long-awaited return to Star Wars Battlefront. And that's the trailer. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe for more all things Star Wars Battlefront, and comment with what era you're most excited to play with in the multiplayer.